Good morning once again and welcome to this interview that we're going to do with the acting CEO of the Kenya Cultural Center. Now, if you're just joining us or if this is your first time to catch any of these interviews, we are discussing on the backdrop of the executive order that the President Uhuru Kenyatta gave 100 million to artists, musicians and actors. And as the CS of Sports, launched this fund, Sports Heritage and Culture, launched this fund on Monday. She said that this money will be implemented through some state agencies, what they call semi-autonomous government agencies and departments. These are 5 departments. One is the National Museum of Kenya, there's the Kenya Cultural Center, the Permanent Presidential Music Commission, the Kenya Film Commission, and lastly, the Department of Culture. Now, as a result of this, we have chosen to bring in the heads of these departments to explain how each of their departments will be implementing the program for the 100 million for the actors. Yesterday, we interviewed Dr. Mzalendo Kibunjia, who is the Director General of the National Museums of Kenya, so you can look that up on the social media pages for Culture TV. But today, we have with me a good man, a man that I have actually met before. I've actually been on a panel with him before. He is the acting CEO of the Kenya Cultural Center, Bwana Mike Pundo. My friend, karibu.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mani.
It's good to see you. You're looking sharp, as always. Sharp.
Yes. Actually, it is sap.
It is sharp.
Yeah, but it is a weakness.
Bwana Mike Pundo, I'm very grateful and actually honored to interview you on this one because you're passionate about theater.
Yes.
This is a place where I feel like you're quite at home.
Yeah.
Explain to me what's your background and how you came to be found in the theater.
Thank you. As you've been told, my name is Michael Pundo, the acting CEO of the Kenya Cultural Center. The Kenya Cultural Center incorporating the Kenya National Theatre.
Yes.
But as a person, my history with theatre dates back into what I call my earlier life.
Okay.
I'm a graduate of literature.
A graduate of literature?
Yes.
Okay.
And so I did most of my earlier life doing performances.
Oh, really?
Literary performances.
Especially the ones for set books?
Set books.
Yes.
And just general plays, stage plays.
Okay.
But again, choral music.
Oh, wow.
Actually, our neighbor, I'm a product of University of Nairobi. And I was the chairman of the university choir then.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so we would frequent theater halls, performances. Yeah, but before I came into this space, I was producing theater. I was directing theater in schools. So again, I'm a product of the Kenya Secondary Schools Drama Festival.
Oh, okay.
Where I was, those days of districts and provinces, I was a district secretary.
Oh, wow.
Of the secondary schools drama.
The drama festival.
Yes.
Wow.
So yes,
so
I'm familiar with this
I really like this conversation, and especially because you're saying that you're not only the acting CEO of the Kenya National or the Kenya Cultural Center, incorporating KNT, but that you yourself have grown through a career of the arts.
Yes.
Performing and directing performances, being on stage yourself. So you understand what it means to be an actor.
Exactly.
You understand what it means to be a director.
Yes.
A producer looking for a venue.
Yes.
To stage some idea that you have. You're actually, maybe you're here representing both the government and the artist.
In fact, before it was even sad because the actor, our space was in the back bench. We would provide entertainment, fine, but nobody would think beyond entertainment. For example, we would be called to entertain, and somebody says, we'll offer you lunch. and that is the only payment.
Yes,
and,
yes,
and,
yes,
and,
yes.
and we would go to entertain, just because we wanted to entertain, not that we needed to have value,
Yes.
monetary value from it. So yes, so much so in the past that the artist has been relegated so much to provide entertainment for entertainment's sake.
Yeah.
Which I think we are moving out of, and that is why artists coming into space now are finding it a bit better, because now people think creative economy, and people think getting value and monetary value from their art. So yes, that is where we are. That's where we are from, and that's where we are.
You know, it's true. As one who has grown through the arts myself, and one who's gone through the entertainment sector, I've been paid through exposure for a long time. You know,
yes.
Currency was exposure, and this place is particularly nostalgic for me, because I've actually put up a production here when I was in college.
Yes.
I was in a little further down the road, you know, closer to Machakos, Desta University. And we put up a production here, and this became a place of validation for our art, because what we had done in a little corner, what we had practiced in a little corner in school, we were able to bring to the world,
yes.
you know,
yes.
and bring it here. Tell me, what is the mandate of the Kenya Cultural Center? You know, we'll talk about these particular funds, but generally, what does the Cultural Center exist to do?
So many people, unfortunately, don't know the existence of the Kenya Cultural Center, but almost everybody knows the existence of the Kenya National Theatre.
Yes.
But then...
do you think it's the same thing?
Yes, it's one and the same.
Okay.
And actually now, for just information, the Kenya Cultural Center as an institution was established out of a parliamentary act. Actually, it is Cap 218 of 1951.
Oh, wow.
So our existence
it's older
dates,
than the Republic.
Yes, but that actually is older than the Republic.
Yes.
1951 is when it was institutionalized. While earlier, it dates back into pre-colonial ages. And so the Kenya Cultural Center, which now incorporates the National Theatre, and by the way, in the Act, we also incorporate the Nairobi War Memorial.
Oh, the one on Ngong Road?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, wow.
There's also, is in the Act, it's part of the Kenya Cultural Center. And so, as an institution, our mandate is to provide for the performances of music, drama, and dance. So generally, this is an institution where performers of music, dances, and theater would find home, because we are supposed to do that. Secondly, we are also supposed to provide for exhibition of works of art and craft. Yeah? We also supposed to provide for meetings, and actually the Act is very particular. We should be providing for meetings which are related to discussions around literature, creative economy, and such like stuff. So generally, our institution is one that is mandated to contribute to harnessing and development of the diversity of Kenyans' heritage, cultural heritage, and even creative performances. So we have extended this mandate to go out and try now to develop talent related to theater and theatrical performances, so that then we can find people coming to the center to do their art. So yes, we are in development of talent.
And I want to talk about the development of talent just for a little bit before we go to this 100 million.
Yes.
Because, you know, when I look through social media, you know, there are some institutions that feel better placed to implement this 100 million than the cultural center. And as we discussed earlier, I was curious to know, what are some of the talents that have been nurtured through a place like the National Theatre? And you had some names to mention.
Yes, actually, the Kenya Cultural Center is unique in its existence. Actually, the place we are sitting in, which is the National Theatre, is nicknamed the Shrine.
The Shrine, why?
The Shrine. I wouldn't know why, but I think a shrine, if you take it traditionally, is where inspirations are gotten from. A very reverent place. And so an artist, before we performed, before you go to stage, you want to get inspirations. What I don't know how to translate in English, but in mother tongue you say juogi. I don't know. Some kind of power that comes and removes you from being the normal Amani to a different you while on stage.
Like spirit filled. Like
you get filled by the spirit. So the shrine actually is a place that is revered by so many people. I think, and we read from books, that celebrity writers and play directors like Ngugi wa Thiong'o did their things here.
They started here.
Started here. Before then, things happened and they went into the bushes to do their plays from the bush.
Yeah.
But of late, and I think guys which we need to identify with, and this actually comes from their public confession. We have somebody like Churchill.
Churchill, yes. I know Churchill started here.
Yes, yes. And from Churchill's story, he came here and would wait for an audition and get 30 bob to go back home. Another person of note, and which we also all identify with, who, again, from his own submissions, started from here, is Jalango.
Jalango, the comedian.
The comedian.
Yeah.
So those are guys, contemporary artists, who, from their own submissions and confessions, they started humbly from this spot.
So you're saying that it's possible from the support of the Kenya Cultural Center and the Kenya National Theatre in this particular space to be able to nurture art to a place of national recognition.
Exactly. And that is what this center has done.
So tell me, when it comes to this specific mandate, there's 100 million, a portion of which will be channeled through the Kenya Cultural Center.
Yes.
Who are the artists that sit, and or what category? I know, the presidential order said musicians, actors, so I guess actors here sit in your mandate.
Exactly.
But who else sits in your mandate? Which category of acts under the Kenya Cultural Center?
Now, you rightly put it. We have musicians, actors, and artists in that particular executive order.
Yes.
But so for the Kenya Cultural Center, our major focus is actors. And we are talking about any theatrical performance.
Okay.
Which is broad in its sense, and we might not include all of them. But for quick reach, we have identified plays as so play artists and stage plays, for that matter. We are also going to focus on radio theatre.
Okay.
Which is also very prominent, though dying.
Yeah.
But,
and I think it needs to be revived.
We have to.
As a podcaster, I think radio theatre needs to be revived.
Yes, we have to.
So I'm just adding to my own agenda here.
Then we are also focusing on the short form presentations of which are elocution, poetry, spoken word, storytelling.
Yes.
Mimes, which is a form of a
Do we
drama.
have mimes existing in Kenya?
Hey, so much.
Wow.
So much. We actually will invite you for a mime production.
Fantastic.
At the shrine, and
you'll
enjoy.
I can't wait.
Yes. Then there is this lot of artists who have been so much present in the theater, and they are very quiet but loud. Quiet in the sense that they don't talk, but their instruments talk for them. And I'm talking about the percussionists, specifically the drummers. Drumming is a major component of theater production. Because they either give cue, they send a message, or something. And so we are also going to focus on percussionists as an element of our theatre productions.
In fact, when I think about the National Theatre in my mind, apart from this Corona times, passing here, you always had drums. You always had drums. So that for me makes sense.
Yes.
So I've seen on social media that you've done a poster, a call out.
Yes.
To some of these acts. Tell me, how do you plan to implement your program?
First, we are saying this program covers the whole nation.
Okay.
And so, as the cultural center, we are going to use the associations. We are going to use theater companies. We are going to use individual artists, because actually our ultimate goal is the individual artist. Even though we are using associations, we are using these associations to reach that particular individual artist. But as a cultural center, we also have our prominent program called PAL.
PAL?
PAL,
yes.
P-A-L.
Okay.
In the past, it has been called Poetry After Lunch.
Okay.
Now, there's no lunch here, my brother, because of Corona.
It's a shame.
So we are going to use, we recently christened it to Performances After Lunch.
Okay.
And so we also want to use our PAL platform to reach those particular artists who have been in the PAL project.
Okay.
And we have PAL satellite sites in Kisumu, in Busia, in Embu, in Narok, and in Kilifi. So we believe that these are structures which are stable enough for us to reach the particular artist we intend to reach.
And it's good that you've talked about the different counties. In your plan on how this artists will be incorporated, what do you hope that they will be able to do? Because the CS said this is a work for pay. This is a work for pay program. So what will they do, and how does that work with the Kenya Cultural Center?
Actually, Mr. Imani, what we need to know is government has no free money.
Yes.
Even the monies we think are free, like the money for the old people, is never free. You must work hard to be old to get that money.
That's true.
And getting old is not easy. I hope we are working hard to be old. So there's no free money. And so we felt that we can't just justify sending money to artists, like the CS was saying. And so we want to spur thought around this. We want to ignite, though artists have been there, but because of Corona, the spirit is low. So it is actually to stimulate, and that's why it's called a stimulus package. It's actually to stimulate artists to start thinking and remodeling their art towards the scenario. We cannot go into the theaters anymore. We can't go into the clubs and do gigs anymore. So we want that artist, while in their hood or at home, to start thinking of how they can create stuff which then can reach their audience, ultimately earn them something as they sit at home. So there are two things here. The artist is stimulated, is spurred, is ignited to do something. But also, after doing whatever they've done, then the artist can be able once again to interact with his audience, which used to go to the theaters but now are at home. So yes, we are not removing the artist from the scene. We want the artist to remain still on the scene so that their audiences can still see them, but at home. Now, with that then, we expect artists to do productions and pay or give them money based on the productions.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you're saying this money will either stimulate a production,
yes,
or in some cases pay after a production.
Yes. Maybe.
And so in the different acts they need to produce something.
Something.
Now, what will you do when you have access to these productions? How do you add value to these productions? Will you be able to showcase,
Now,
some of this?
as an institution, and I think as a ministry, and the CS alluded to it, when these productions are brought to us, then we have various channels in which we give them out to the people. One major channel is Culture TV.
Okay.
I think that is the dedicated channel.
Yes.
However, we will be, through a communication team that has been also set up by the CS,
okay,
we will be channeling these productions to the mainstream media, social media, and even the artists themselves would have their own channels of doing that. But then that would just augment what we are doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to me about people living with disabilities. Have you considered them in this process?
They are at the core of this. Because, look at it. I want to give an example, two examples. There is a group of performers in CIA who, it's a mixed group of persons with various types of disabilities. And they have been doing their productions and relying on functions. Because events
Yes.
to then get something.
Yes.
But now they have been told to stay at home. Another group is Bombolulu Art in Mombasa. Again, these are artists who have been producing works of art and taking to theaters, taking to markets, taking to social places, taking to weddings, but now they can't do it. So, and these artists only have art. I mean, they can't do anything because, again, they are disabled.
Yes.
So we have to think deeply on how, one, not to make them lose hope of the talent they have. In fact, to give them more spirit into producing, and to show that, yes, despite the circumstances we are in, yes, they can still do their stuff and earn something. So we are seriously thinking, and actually we have incorporated, and as had been directed, we have set aside 30% of whatever we are doing to disadvantaged people and persons with disability.
Okay.
Yes.
Fantastic. And now I'm going to look for those people. I'm going to look for Bombolulu Arts. I hope they have something online I can find.
Yeah.
And the performance group in CIA. Do you know what they're called?
They're called Kogelo something.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm really curious.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to seeing their art. I just have, maybe three more questions for us before we close. The question I want to ask you is then, you've done this call out on social media. What are your social media pages, and how can people get to see what you're looking for to implement this program?
Okay, now as an institution, we have our institutional platform.
Yes.
But this should be fed into the bigger platform of Culture TV.
Yes, yes.
Which is for the ministry.
Yes.
But so as we have given out a call for artists in the categories I had mentioned,
Yes.
Plays, and actually for plays and group performances, we are limiting them to only a maximum of 5, because we want to consider the regulations of Ministry of Health,
Yes.
in terms of social distancing.
Yes, yes.
And so when there's a 5 cast, we'll not expect all the 5 to be on stage at the same time.
Yeah.
So that then to us, we feel will limit crowding. And so we have plays, one-man play or whatever. Again, we are asking people to be very creative
Yes,
in
yes,
this. Then we have poetry, spoken word, storytelling, percussion,
Yes.
radio theater. And so we want all this to be sent at the preliminary to submissions at kenyaculturalcenter.go.ke. That is the dedicated...
submissions at kenyaculturalcenter.go.ke. Okay.
Yes, and the person to be attention to is Kenneth Odongo, who is
Kenneth Odongo.
Yes, Kenneth Odongo is our creative productions assistant.
Okay.
Actually, he's also an artist. He has a stage name called Kenneth B.
Okay.
Yeah, he does his things around this space. So yes, he's the contact person for submissions. But then all this information is also on our website.
Okay, and what's your URL for the website?
www.kenyaculturalcenter.go.ke.
Okay, so it's kenyaculturalcenter.go.ke. Okay.
Yeah, so artists would do that. Now, I think what we need to note, and actually what the CS said, that this runs for 3 months.
Yes.
And so we are saying that at whatever point you feel inspired, you can still send in your submission. But then we have limitations in terms of productions,
Yes.
because again of budgetary issues.
Yes.
So we will have particular numbers of particular productions at different in different areas within the country.
So you're saying there's a matrix in terms of the types of productions?
Yes.
Across the counties?
Exactly.
So there has to be, you're sort of balancing out a matrix of sorts.
Exactly. And Amani,
yes.
just on that,
Yeah.
we are telling Kenyans that we want the messages coming out of these productions to reach the people. Actually, the president said the artists should produce, this money should be given to artists as they continue entertaining Kenyans.
Yes.
So we are saying that then your production should reach the person they are intended to reach.
The intended audience. Yes.
And that's why we are asking people who are making submissions to try and put them in languages that are easily understandable by your target audience. Like for Nairobi, we propose that we have productions in Kiswahili, Sheng, and English, because then that would be generally the language around here. For Western Province, we are asking Luya and Kiswahili, or English. We are limiting English so much because we want the person in the village, when they listen to that radio theater, to be able to understand, and if it is comical, to be able to get the joke.
The joke in its original.
In its original,
intention,
because when we translate the joke, then it will not be there.
Yes.
For Lake region, which is Nyanza and Kisii and Kuria and Migori, generally Nyanza and Lake region, we are encouraging productions again in Luo, Kisii, Kuria, Kiswahili. Okay. And now, specifically, and this is due to bias, we encourage more productions around there in English. because
I understand that English came from the lakeside. I will not even let go further. But I've understood you that in the different regions, you want them to take the local dialects and Swahili as much as possible to create.
Exactly.
But I've heard you about the English. My question to you, based on that, is what's the overall number that you think the National Theatre will be, or the Cultural Center will be able to reach, just overall number of artists? What range do you think?
We are working between 2,000 to 3,000 artists across the country.
Across the country.
Yes.
All right, fantastic. So when is this money being released? Yesterday I asked and no one seemed to.
No. You know, there is, and government has structures and procedures.
Yes.
There is approval and release.
Yes.
Now, the money has been approved.
Yes.
Releasing has, again, processes to follow.
Yes.
Because, again, we don't go to the bank and get paid. So we hope in a week's time, money will be hitting our accounts and we start rolling. But despite the fact that we don't have cash in our accounts, we need to put in processes first. So that is why we encourage artists to just start submitting, so that we still don't waste time when now we have cash, because we have money, but we don't have cash.
Yes.
You go to the bank and you're told available balance and actual balance. So yes, we are telling artists to keep on submitting, so that when we are ready to go, we just hit the road.
Exactly. So you're saying use this time to submit, use this time to create, to put in your proposals.
Exactly.
So that when the funds are released, there's already works that can be released for these funds.
Exactly.
Okay, so I want to give you your parting shot. And what I'd like you to do is to inspire young actors, young poets, young radio theatrics.
Call them thespians.
Thespians, that's the word I was looking for. Radio thespians and just young people who want to use performing arts as a means to earning a living and making their mark in the world. If you had the opportunity to speak to them directly, speak to their hearts and to their minds, what would you tell them? I want you to look at that camera and inspire those young people.
But before I say that, something that has come to mind, and which is forming the basis for us as a cultural center to go out to these artists. Yeah. Within this space, we have had artists who just come, and I know all over the country, Nakuru Players Theatre, Little Theatre in Mombasa, there's just an artist who lives home and come and stay at the theatre, waiting for an opportunity to have an audition. And when they get to the audition and being casted, then they are sure they'll get 100 bob or 200, Now that there is no audition, this artist is really suffering. Yeah? Then there's also this artist who is a creator. He's a script writer. He's bubbling with ideas. But now he can't produce. So he is still, ideas still come, whether corona or no corona. So his head is full. And in some cases, when they can't produce, they go out to ventilate. Now they can't because they are told to stay at home. So these artists, if not taken care of, might have mental issues because now ideas will be too much. So we want to give these artists then the opportunity now to start again doing what they are doing. So yes, those are the artists which we feel as a cultural center we want to look at. But now,
and that I feel like that's a perfect backdrop for the inspiration that you should give.
Yes,
because that's a person I want you to talk to.
Yes,
as you inspire them to action.
Thank you so much. And our message as Kenya Cultural Center to the theatre artists and artists generally is that we need not to lose hope. We need to take up this opportunity that the government has given, that the government is only giving us a spur to be more creative. And actually, when we take advantage of this time, then we will stand up to be counted, that we made good of our time when it was a crisis. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Bwana Michael Pundo. Thank you so much for hosting us and hosting these interviews as well at the Kenya National Theatre. You have heard, look out for the call out for submissions. I think it's on social media pages, but it's also going to be on the Culture TV social media pages. Respond to them, give your submissions, send them to submissions@kenyaculturalcenter.go.ke. Attention, Ken Odongo. And do not be left out in this process. If you fall in these categories of actors, of radio thespians, if you're a spoken word artist, if you're a poet, if you're a drummer, you are included in in the mandate of the Kenya Cultural Center. And they are asking you to send them your submissions. God bless you. See you tomorrow as we interview the Kenya Film Commission, which is also one of the implementing agents. Thank you.